All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new YouTube video. We are sitting in our Indycar right here, looking out to our side. We can see our pit crew member. And you see those palm trees out there? Yeah, that is Southern California. This is Long Beach Grand Prix. And we are sitting in our Indycar, as I said. I just did a couple of videos this morning, one of them about specifically the IR-18 Indycar and about its new tires, which you see out here in front, the red stripe on those tires. Turn it to the side so you can see the glorious red Firestones. They do make quite a difference. It is a lot of fun to drive with the different tire compounds, and you can check that out in my other video. And then it's a little long. It's a lot of my first thoughts of driving the IndyCar now that it's been completely revised for 2021, which today is the December 9th, 2021. And so I've only had a couple of hours to really play with this IndyCar update, but in that video we cover that, as well as the fact that the new lack of performance due to engine overheating, I'm not finding that to be working, and you can see that in the video. My performance, my sector times, for example, on straightaways with the car in the red, basically the dashboard showing in the red, yeah, you can see it in the video. It still doesn't seem to affect negatively the performance, and then eventually the engine blew up. So yeah, just doing a little preliminary testing. And so this video, what I want to do is actually try to set a decent lap. In the past video, I just, let's see here, I'm going to exit out, and I think I still have the high, yeah, I set up modified from high downforce, but I think that's just because I changed the tires to the alternate. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and do some laps. I might get it wrong, crash a couple of times, bear with me. And then as soon as I can lay down a good lap, like I did earlier, a 111.1, but my optimal is down at a 110.4. So I'd like to find out where I slot in at. And then I'm going to take a look on the IndyCar website and find out what the actual pole time was from last year. And, well, I mean, it was canceled this year, unfortunately, but for I guess last year, what the time would have been. Now, of course, that was a different car that didn't have the aero screen, which has changed a lot about the car. Nevertheless, the time should be about the same. And then finally, we're going to break out the IR-01 and do a comparison. Just compared to the IndyCar, how does it feel? And in addition, how do the lap times compare? Now we don't have to care about things like speed limits here at Long Beach right now because we're just in testing mode. But I should tell you that I don't typically drive with this wide of an FOV. I use triples and I have very small monitors, so it's a little bit of an adjustment. I mean, not a little bit, it's a lot of an adjustment for me to try to do some laps here with this wide of an FOV. So please forgive me when and if I scrape the wall and or destroy a few cars. But the IndyCar also has a new damage model, so we could always check that out. All right, so getting up to speed, I was just in the last video that I did, so this is now my third video, and in the first two, so the first one was just about the IndyCar, and that's not at Long Beach, it was at Road America, which is going to be the first race of the season for the IndyCar series, but it's also a very familiar place. Now, second video was just taking it slow and going around.
They said you've got the course.
Yep. So if you go over that line, it's gonna be a penalty. That's the pit exit line. Yeah, so in the second video, I just toured around and looked at a lot of these spots. I could spend hours, really. I could spend... there, we wrote one off. Look at that, there's something rolling down the road. What is that? It's like a wing end plate there. Or something. Okay, so let's reset, try again. Like I said, this is just about finally laying down a decent lap. Something better than the 111 that I've done. And then getting to break out the new car. Because I'm super excited. Wow. Okay. I'm super excited to try all of this out. The IR-01 has just come up in like the last week, and it's really blown, I think, a lot of people's minds, and I can't wait to try it out. But the Indycar drives great. I would just say that it's so much better predictable inertia. It's really on point, and that may not make it... I mean, some people may find it better from that standpoint, but personally, I think the way that it handles now, if you're not super smooth and consistent, it's going to kind of count against you. I don't see this car being as responsive to the type of things that we used to have to do to seesaw at the wheel to get, you know, I mean, to do certain things to make the car respond differently and more favorably, that I think isn't quite as realistic. Now you can go back to driving what feels like a much more realistic line. Than before, because you could get away with certain things before that you probably can't now, and vice versa. There may be some things that were a little too aggressive in their feeling before in the Indycar, that, like, you know, the people saying that it feels like ice, or that when you lose control, really hard to scoop it back up. Goodness. That's definitely something in the setup there that will dramatically improve that. It must just be a little too stiff or something. It needs to rotate better. In fact, I would change the ARB here, but yeah, I just want to leave it. I just want to go with whatever. God. Whew. Good thing that runoff is there, right? Okay, we'll get it one of these laps, guys. We will get it. It might take us 5 laps to do this, but we're gonna get it. And again, you know, just normally, if I was gonna, like, race, I'm gonna do probably 100 laps, 200 laps before I go race. So that I have my setup down, I have it feeling the way that I want it to. It's nice and comfortable before the race, or as comfortable as I can make it while still going fast. mph speed limit sign there, just to remind you of where we are. Yeah, it just needs to be a bit softer, because you can just see as it goes around the corner, it wants to, like, not hug the corner. It wants to, like, sort of lunge or push through the corner. Nope. Oh! bouncing body parts. Goodness gracious. You know, that would have written off the whole front end of the car, and I would have been stuck in the barriers there, I'm sure. So, getting on the next one, gents and ladies. 40-mile-an-hour speed limit on pit lane. That is gonna be tricky. That is it's a very long pit road. I mean, as road courses go, there are short pit lanes, and then there are really long pit lanes, and this is a bit of a longer one. And that could play a role in how many pits you decide to do, right? Because we'll have to see how long pit stops are. Oh, it's just so beautiful here. Just so beautiful. It really looks like the real thing. A lot of brake lock. The bias is probably too far forward. I think it's at 57.5 is where the default set has it at. So I'm just trying to set a time using the default set. Hate that it's so difficult to be consistently fast. You know, you blow a sector and it's like, oh, there goes my whole lap. Looks like I didn't clip the wall or anything. I must have clipped the inside of the curb. I'm not really sure. There's a 111.3. Come on, I can do this. I can get into the 110s. There is so much visual interest here that's a little overwhelming. I would be absolutely overwhelmed if I hadn't seen, so many races here, and like this just looks real. So for me, it's kind of weird because it's like I'm watching a video feed of an Indycar at the same time that I'm racing it. But yeah, I guess like the only thing that is helping me right now is the fact that I'm just used to this track so much. But I'm speechless. I'm really speechless. It's just unbelievable to be racing here again. And I didn't get to go this last year. I felt, bad because it was canceled, and I wanted to go the last couple of years, but I wasn't in the area. Just reminds you of why you got to get out and do these things while they're around, because there's groups that don't want the Long Beach Grand Prix around. All these people that own these condos in here, like a lot of them, they don't like the Long Beach Grand Prix, and it was there, when this was strip clubs and, businesses like that. And not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that was what was down here around where the Pike is, and the Pike had a dangerous roller coaster. It was a different place. 111.045. Come on, guys. We can get into the 110s. I know it. Down on the power a little bit better. A little bit later on the brakes. Earlier on the gas. Woo! Just barely clipped that banner. That's cool. I gotta check that one out later. Try not to overcook the corner. Oh, that's gonna be a trick. That's gonna be a trick getting that right. From real life, you can't clip that one too much, otherwise, woo, it will get you really oversteery there. Tires maybe starting to kick a little bit. So that's really good. They have gotten rid of a lot of on-throttle oversteer, wheel spin. That is because that was so off-putting on this car. Tires are going through something. But maybe yeah, they're kind of at their peak. I'm feeling them starting to peak. That's the first time I've been able to really feel that. I'm not saying I haven't ever felt that in tires before or in iRacing before, but that's the first time I've felt like such a pronounced feeling of that. 110.7, there we go. Knew a 110 was possible. That'll just be easy. Be hitting 110s all day long. It's always how it goes, right? It's so hard at the first one. Alright, a little bit later on throttle there. Yeah, a little... I was too wide for the apex. Ooh, just got next... Wow, that's close. I was afraid it was gonna oversteer me there. Possibly the wrong line through there. Still getting the, I mean, that's got to turn into a much better trail braking corner, and again, I just think the front is just way too stiff to do much else with it. So there was another 110, by the way, just like I said. You chase it, and then it's like, oh, it ain't so hard. But iRacing has always seemed to reward you a little bit the more that you take care of the tires. It just seems like something that happens, and these tires seem to be peaking. Wow, that was a very early apex. Very late on the brakes there. Difficult to find any balancer there. And a 110.5, so wow. Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, I feel like the tires started to peak for me there. I feel like the track is amazing. It's just absolutely amazing to drive. Let's take a look at the car outside. Watch a couple of these laps. I'd love to see how close it got to the wall there, and then we could have some more fun. Bust out the IR-01 and see how that fares around here. Let's see, was this one of our laps where we get real close? Oh, it's like right there. Oh man, how close even. Can we see that on here? Yeah. So if I back it up and I take, let's see here, go super slow-mo. Yeah, let's put it into chase and then we can see it that way. Could watch it through a TV feed, but sorry to flip around there. Here we go. So we're just gonna set this to play here. And turn that off. Let's see how close we clip this and what it looks like. Obviously sliding out way too far. That's not the ideal line. And then, oh. I mean, I don't know if it actually clipped it, but it was darn close. Yeah, we would have to go through the laps. I don't remember. Let's go to, let's just see if it's this lap. Okay, that was our last lap. So, hey, let's take a look at the TV feed around here as we went around the track. We used the TV mixed. And let's see here, is that our last lap? Yeah, so we'll go to this lap. All right, let's just let it play and we can watch this video. As we come down Pine and head to go up Shoreline. I'm sorry, as we go down Shoreline towards Pine. And then just beautiful heading out there towards the parking garage. The car looks great. It looks more realistic the way that it slides around the track. Getting up to speed, the car just seems to grab and respond more like a real car. It's really hard to tell the difference. It really is. Like, this just looks like a real car at Long Beach Grand Prix. And this is the only stuff that I noticed, like, in the video that's different. There's the missing people, obviously, which we'll get more of in the, that looked pretty real. And here it is coming up the road, up Shoreline. Yeah, you miss all the people, and then there's some other things like the hospitality tents and towers and things that I'll have to see if that comes out as we get to see it in race mode. All right, so it just looks beautiful going around here. Oh, that's a great camera. That's a great camera. I feel like these replicate the real-life camera positions, too. Oh, there it is. Yeah, did you see how I just barely touched that? And that was replicated in the game. That close brush with the wall. Oh, this looks so real. I'm just speechless, really, like I said. Alright. So cool beans. I really enjoyed doing that, and it's going to be fun trimming the setup. But as you can see, as I exit out of here, and by the way, yes, my performance is not, I mean, I can't max everything out, I think, with a full grid. It's just not going to work. I'm going to have to trim everything back. But that being said, I only have a 2060 Super, and I'm sure a better card would be able to handle it. I mean, 2060 Super's nothing to sneeze at, but let's go ahead and swap out and do the IR-01. Brand new car. Excuse me. Car info. There's the model. Oh yeah, you can rotate. This is new. This is a whole new thing that you can rotate around the car. That's for the paint shop too. So car info, it's basically answer to the challenges of the premier international open wheel motorsport, designed to blend together the best elements of Grand Prix racing's past, present, and future. This fast, agile machine is easy to pick up, but limited electronics and driver aids make it challenging to master. Powered by naturally aspirated 3.0-liter V10, reminiscent of the engines that dominated the sport in the early and mid-1990s, producing upwards of 900 horsepower at a dry weight of just 600 kilograms. The result is an aggressive car that races well in traffic and is a pure thrill ride to drive. So 900 horsepower and 600 kilograms. What is the Indycar, right? Let's look at that real quick, because that's kind of a cool comparison component there. Let's see. Car info. Where are we at here? Minimum weight, 721 kilograms. Now that's, I believe, with drivers. So 1620 for, I'm sorry, 735 kilograms for short ovals, road, and street courses. So 735 for everything other than speedways and motor speedways. So, like, it's probably pretty comparable. And then it has 550 to 700 horsepower. So it has less horsepower, significantly less horsepower than this car will have, the IR-01. The Indycar does. So without a doubt, it should be faster. How much faster? See, I didn't even have like a star by it. That's how new this is. It's brand new to me. I've never raced it. Don't know anything about it other than what we have read. And we're going to find out together and do our first laps and see what this thing is like. Now, again, when we get into practicing and dialing in the setups and racing and everything, my FOV will change, so I'll be able to take this a little bit more seriously. That will bring everything sort of closer to me, and that, for those of you that race, you know how important that is. Those of you that might just be checking this out, aren't really familiar with it, you definitely need to set your FOV, your field of view, properly, especially if you have something like triple monitors. But anytime you need to set it right, because it looks great to have the dash and have the, the dashboard and have the the cockpit and have the tires and everything on one screen, but it's the sensation of speed is not realistic. And it misrepresents how far things are away. So I'm doing that just for the purpose, because we're just doing a review of the content. But it comes down to monitor size, and basically I will be upgrading monitors at some point, but I have triple smallish monitors, and long story short, this is how we have to do it. But look at that. Isn't that cool? With the Wayland up there. I mean, I've stood right there. I've seen a concert in there. I've toured race cars in there. It's been fun. But why we're here now is to test out the new Dallara IR-01 race car. And let's see, before we even get that thing out there, let's check out the garage and see what we can actually adjust, because this has been one of the things since it got introduced. How simple is simple to pick up, right? Tire compounds, soft, medium, and hard, just as stated. The tires start out at 20 psi. They are adjustable to 25 psi. Let's see here. Under the chassis, that's all you can adjust on the tires tab. You appear to have everything, the information, normal. And then on the chassis tab, Arb Stiffness, Arb Blades. You have 4 to choose from, which is, I suppose, simpler. The stiffness, okay. Pushrod Delta. Oh, that's so simple. Adjust, what does that say? Adjust the length of push rods used to adjust ride height. Changing this. Okay, so yeah, automatically changes the left front push rod and left front push rod. Changes the right front push rod and left front push rod due to symmetry required in a monoshock configuration. Changes the right. Okay. So you're saying, okay, so we have one overall spring in the front and one in the back. We do not have independent right, left. Okay, that's one of the reasons why this is not a great oval racing car, potentially, is because of that fact. Spring perch offset and pull rod. Okay, so we've got to go through this here. Nose weight. Why? Oh, this is just ballast. So this is how much ballast you put on the car. So if I adjust this push rod, essentially, you'll see the ride height change. 1194. If we adjust this, it now becomes 1141, which they tell us is too low. Okay? And by the way, this is Long Beach set, apparently. We're going to not save that. Long Beach STO. So this is a set made for this track, for this car. So they are aware, they put some time in, I guess, developing this setup. Spring perch offset, usually it just, the height at which the spring is installed on the chassis used to adjust ride height. So, this is complicated because of the fact that there's geometry involved. You need to understand what each one of these two components does. The push rod delta is the length of the push rods, and the spring perch offset is the height at which the spring is installed in the chassis, which is also used to adjust ride height. Now, that's going to affect this setting here, which is spring deflection. And again, this is just comparatively very different than this part, the correlation is normal, but in terms of this all correlating to one single spring instead of two, that's different. And then in addition, this is not as simple as simple. This is a little bit more complicated, but we also haven't seen any sort of aero settings or anything yet, and that's probably better. So we do have camber and toe. We do have up here, we do have bump stiffness and rebound stiffness to adjust. And what does it say? More clicks equals more damping. So, so different than, for example, the Indycar, where it goes from 0 to -20, and closer to 0, I guess, is more damping, and in this case, it goes positive and goes up to 16. So it's just, why not make it to 16? You know, instead of make it like 10 or like 4 clicks, you know, like is the max. Let's just give them 16 to work with. Oh boy. All right, so our toe settings, camber settings, it's pretty standard. And then vehicle systems, aero, front wing. That's all we can adjust. 6 degrees down to, -12 for some reason. Whatever you would want to do that. Again, look, this is going to be a world championship car, so I appreciate some adjustability, but I'm just saying one of the selling features of it, supposedly, was that it's supposed to be super simple, and I'm still seeing stuff like, you know, ample degrees of wing angle that you can set. That's not really simplified, but that is just one setting as opposed to Wickers on the Indycar and single plane, double plane. There's so many different aero configurations. So I guess if that's all you've got is that, then that's fine. That actually, since there's no calculator like the Indycar has, I now don't understand how my aero is being affected, right? Because there's no aero calculator. So, you know, it's weird that they'll give you that ability to adjust angles and adjust the ride height, but they won't give you the calculator to figure out what the best rolling ride height is. So fuel level 26.4, that's maxed out. I don't know. In-car dials, throttle shaping, 1, pedal 2, 3. So you get 3 different settings. What does the note say? Default setting for the throttle shaping, you can control the setting while on track. Throttle allows driver to select the type of engine performance when rolling out. Setting 1 has an S shape that emulates a typical butterfly style throttle control, and setting 3 has a linear engine torque mapping to throttle pedal position. 50% throttle equals 50% of max torque. Well, that's not necessarily fuel savings or anything, and so that's something we'll have to check out. That seems to be more based off of how you want the power delivered, which is usually something you control with the diff, but also in IndyCar we do have the throttle shaping for 6 and 7 on that fuel map. So differential settings seem to be standard, although you can choose them independent of each other, which is actually nice. You're not just confined to the settings. Like, they have these combined settings that you can choose from on the IndyCar, and here you have the option of choosing whatever you want. You can only go to 6 clutch plates. You can do preload, steering pinion, and it's, you know, just to get the steering correct. Dash config, race, qual. Guess there's a reason to switch between those. Brake system, front master cylinder, rear master cylinder. This does change the way that the brakes are deployed. This basically gives you the light, medium, and high pressure settings that you can adjust. And again, you know, why they don't just give you that setting if they're designing from scratch. You know, why are we talking numbers? We should just have clicks, I guess. But to stay relevant and not totally fantasy, I guess we do this. So tire compound, let's go with the soft. And Actually, let's go ahead and not save it. Let's reload the setup from scratch. Throw on the softs, because there's no sense doing anything else. Now, in this view, you can't see my mirrors. And that's one of the cool aspects of this car that I know about. So let's go ahead and I'm going to adjust that. Oh, look at that car. Look at this thing. Look at that. Is that cool or what? There it is. You know, I mean, it really looks, it has like an Indycar shape to it. It kind of it just combines like a lot of different things. There's like super formula here. There's IndyCar. There's little bits of Formula One feeling to it, like especially with this cascading front wing design, starting to take a little Formula One-ish design there. Okay, so what we want to do is jump into the cockpit. Now we're going to adjust this camera. Okay, so if we make it like to there, you can see the wheel, you can see, oh, it's 167, so high. But you can see the mirrors. They're actually digitally overlaid. And I think that's the main thing, is that you be able to see that that's real. Can you see that? I was back it out. On the left-hand side, you can especially see that. That is digitally overlaid. I don't know how they're doing that. Maybe it's like a visor or something that they're projecting it on. But that's a digital UI thing. So that's kind of cool. And I'm sure we'll have that in the future. So there's no real, that's as far back as I can go with the FOV. So there's no monitors there's no mirrors that are sticking up in the air anywhere. So let me just take it to the same. This is where we were at in the IndyCar. And you can see the dash come up down there on the, let me move some of this junk out of the way. Tell you what, I'm going to put this up in the corner just for now so that we can get this stuff out of the way. So take a look at the steering wheel here. We can see the RPMs, the speed, lap time, you know, the delta there, gain loss, fuel remaining, 26.41, the water temp, oil temp. Now, the difference on the IndyCar is you don't have the water temp, oil temp at a glance. You do have a couple of these other factors, the pedal, which is, I guess, the throttle shaping, and the FR, the front ARB, the rear ARB being 3 and 3. Usually that's not where you're set in like an IndyCar. You're usually softer on the rear significantly than the front. And then I guess this tells you how many laps you've done, your voltage, which I have no idea why you would need that. And then we have looks like we've got indicator lights, that LED lights that run on the side of the steering wheel, and then of course the what do you call this? The LEDs for the shift lights up above. Now, I think that's it. I didn't really look below that, so let's see real quick. Just before we take it out, let's just make sure there's nothing else that I'm missing here. The bottom of the steering wheel. So there's the whole thing. The Dallara imprint, carbon fiber, etc. Whoops, too far. I'm back. All right, so let's go ahead and test it out. See how this thing does on track. Ooh. Listen to it at low RPMs. Oh, this is super heavy FFB. The force feedback is redonkulous on my wheel right now. Super strong. I'm gonna have to use the auto adjust here. So strong. Let's go to the let's see, in-car adjustments. It's so strong, it won't even let me turn. Go down to something like 14, 11. Okay, so it should allow me here to at least turn the wheel and get a lap in, and then we'll see. Okay, now it's going to let me use the auto feature, and it says to go to 10, so we'll just leave it at 10 for the moment. I'll end up tweaking that and going higher, probably, but so far I do feel a lot of the bumps through the wheel. I'm feeling a little bit of data through the... Woo! Okay, found that difficult in the Indycar, and I find it difficult in the IR-01. Whoa! We hit it. We did hit it. Whoa. This thing, I don't know about this. Okay, that is a little cray-cray. I can't say for sure they still have my front wing on here. It's not feeling like it's got the right feeling. Oh, it's still on there. This is a bizarre little car. This is a bizarre little car. Yeah, let's try this again. Let's just try this one more time. I think my brain is trying to associate this car with something else I've driven, and it just doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know about this. Like, I think the steering pinion needs to be changed or something, because there's a lot of steering input compared to the Indycar. But, oh man, it's like, it wants to understeer out bad. I think the track on the front, it seems wide or something. Like, there's something about it that is just a little weird to drive compared to the Indycar. I hate to have to change it, but let's see here. Amount of rack displacement per turn. Greater value is faster turning speed. Well, I guess it's turned all the way up. Can it go down? Yep, it can go down. So, that's interesting. Front wing angle 6. Let's give it some more wing. And then what? You can't control the rear wing? That's a little bizarre. Arb stiffness, medium. Yeah, but again, you know, where everything's at right now, I don't know how you get around this track. I mean, I'll treat it like one of these cars that requires special attention with the steering input, but it's like right there, that's so much more steering input than I had to do in the IndyCar. So just try my best to adjust. It is a very fast car, as you can see. Probably will be really cool to watch it outside the car. Of course, iRacing did do their version, their video. So we did a 110.5. Oh, wow. We did a 110.5 in the Indycar. Oh my god, this thing just like won't even turn. Okay. Oh, okay. I guess
Got wheel damage.
Something happened. I screwed up.
You're dropping a lot of fluid.
Huh.
We have to fix it.
Well, I mean, I want to say that what happened there is that my increase in aero somehow overpowered the car. It is so tricky to get the thing even turned through the corner. I mean, compared to the beautiful way that the Indycar is turning now, it seems to be, this car seems to be a little bit more understeery, at least with this setup. And the wheel is obviously requires like way more input. Like I'm completely flipped around with my wheel there. What is that all about? I mean, I was just accelerating, the thing drove into the wall. Wow. A little unwieldy downforce. I think the car is damaged also now. You know what? I may need to, I may not have set custom controls for this car yet, which is something I should have done. Okay, I think our car is broken. So let's go ahead and park it. Something. It doesn't look broken, but it was definitely handling broken. Okay, so let's change this custom controls. Yeah, we need to do that so we don't screw up every other car that we have. Although technically now we've done that. I mean, the only things you can do is to, you know, soften the car, excuse me. So set the rear softer, because generally you don't want to make the front too much softer, though this Arb stiffness, you might want to make it soft. That might make the car significantly turn better, but what we should do is probably we would need to adjust somewhere in here the controls so that the mapping is different, because the fact that they won't just let me change this pinion system. Let's see if going to a smaller pinion, if that improves it in any way, because otherwise we're going to have to probably resort to something else. I mean, certainly we will soften up the front of the car, but It's. Well, my initial feeling on this car is, my brain, as I said before, wants to think of it like an Indycar or a Formula One car, but it isn't either one of those things. I don't know how I'm going to exit that final corner without substantially changing this setup. Whoa. No! Wow. Scary. It's probably because I have too much front wing on it now, but so you can see well, like the first car, I'm finding it difficult to keep this car out of the wall. It's broken, so gotta do this again. Well, yeah, I have to say, I mean, maybe if we get this car, like, out into Road America or something like that, it might be easier, but I'm not necessarily 100% feeling like this is the most approachable car. This is a very fast car, and the speed of the car is not really the issue here. It's more the weird way that the front track is handling. Very tricky to get used to it. And then it seems like it's got and this is part of the front track, is the weight transfer seems heavy. Seems like really heavy for some reason. Oh. See, and like I can't even get the car turned there. So, try another lap. I'll try to work on the line, see if I can get it better now. The arrow is really sensitive, so I just have to be a little bit better with that. Oh boy. You know, the weird thing is, since we're just chatting here while I screw up corners, it's like, once I get all of the kinks out of this car, I can tell you, it's just going to feel like an Indycar, like, that's 10% faster, 15% faster. That's really what it feels like. It's a fast car. This is, it feels on par with a Formula One car, with the McLaren. And that'll be interesting to bring Formula One back here, as we will get a chance to do in the season. But I'll probably be doing it way before then, so stay tuned, maybe for a video on that. As I try to figure out this stupid turning radius of this car. Whoa, oh no. Oh, okay, and we're over. Put on your brakes. Alright. Well, there's that. Wow. We got, like, up into... Let's look at that. We got up into the catch fencing. Look at that. Flying through the air. And into the catch fencing. We're like scraping on the catch fencing, riding around the top of it for a second as we come back down here to Earth. Oh man. Too much. Well, you get a good look at the car there. You can see bits and pieces of it starting to break off. Really happy this is a fake car. As I continue to just barrel roll down Shoreline Boulevard. Okay. Good times. We end up upside down. So alright, so far we've only managed to do a 111, which would actually make this car pretty much on pace with the Indycar. But the acceleration is better. There's no doubt about that. It's more just that this car's bizarre front track and possibly the simplified suspension is, you know, this is the fallout from that is you get a car that's really fast, but it turns like a dog. Turns like a dump truck. Wow. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, within a week or two I'll figure out how to get that thing around there. No problem. Wow. Huh. Again, this is it's something that it's taking some getting used to. You can't drive this car like another car. This is not a Formula One car. It's heavier than I mean, not in real life, but it feels heavier than the Formula One car, and that's probably because of the limited suspension that it has. But it's so fast. It's like a good 5 to 10 miles an hour faster than the Indycar down the straight. Wow. It just wants to like move around though. That's kind of weird. It's not real stable. Again, these are just first laps. I haven't adjusted anything really in the setup other than to add a little bit more wing because, come on. Oh, barely made that. Just because it's got a turning issue right now, and I don't know what I can really do about that. Like, just getting it through that corner is ridiculously difficult with the Long Beach setup that they have provided. So that was a 109.6. So this car already showing that it is faster, quite a bit faster than the Indycar. Just a couple of seconds. So 1077. Wow. Okay, so it has better stopping for sure. Wanted to get away there. Well, chasing it around that hairpin is a little tricky. It just really doesn't want to take a particular good set. Pushing it pretty good. Ah. I knew I pushed it a little too far. Actually didn't hurt the car much. It's just so hard to get through that corner with this setup. Now the setup's messed up. The arrow's messed up. So a little ding on the arrow, and you're done for it. But look, this thing I got down to a 107.006. You can just see how it's moving around. That's, you know, look. I don't think the car should be doing this. You know what I mean? That's a lot of movement with the front wheels. Something's not right there. And that's either setup or something on the car is literally not correct. But let's watch a lap or two. Maybe one of our laps that doesn't suck. See what this car looks like going around the track. Whoops. There we go, TV camera 1. It's beautiful going through that section. The sound is unmistakable V10 scream. Just really sounds like a Formula One car. What a gorgeous sound. Just steering all over the place. So let's go ahead and throw this into the blimp mode here. And, you know, just kind of look at this here from maybe the last couple of laps or so. And let it go around for a little bit. And I'll just close out this video by comparing the two cars and talk about the track and what we've learned here. So, number one, the track is amazing. It drives amazingly. It's extremely realistic. Again, if you saw my other video that I just released, it's just about cruising around the track and doing this blimp mode a little bit, and then also just sort of driving around and seeing what it's like, doing some initial laps. And this takes it a little bit further. I did a couple of, not really hot laps, just, you know, some demo laps just to get a feel for times and how the car would handle on the track. And so the Dallara IR-18 with its new updates, the Indycar with its new updates, I was able to get down to a 110.5. And now with this little guy, the IR-18 brand new car, we're able to get it down to a 107.004 with an optimal down at about a 105. So right out of the box, it's, you know, 3 in this case, but probably more like 4 or 5 seconds a lap faster than the Indycar is. And I'm not going to include the Formula 1 car here because it's not really important since this is a real IndyCar track. So let's see what the IndyCar lap time was. And I'm just going to let this run here for a second while I pull that up over on my other monitor. I might have to take off my gloves so that I can type. Alright. IndyCar 2019 Long Beach Grand Prix pole time. And so it says a 106.8. No, sorry, 106.4 set by Alex Rossi. Now, keep in mind, that is with the older car, which was a bit faster. It's maybe about a second-ish or so faster, second to 2 faster, just depending. Because of the aero screen, the additional, whatever it is, 50 pounds. I can't remember how much they said it is. And the drag that is caused by it. So that would be that's the only way we can compare it, since there was no Long Beach Grand Prix in 2020. But again, that's their pole time. I haven't done any adjusting to setups at all. I haven't. This is my first laps in this car, so I would say the Indy car can go around here probably in the 107 to 109 territory, just to give you a huge ballpark number. Like if us mere mortals are hitting 109s, somebody like Adam Blocker is hitting the 107s, and so shout out to the guy who kicks everyone's ass. And then this IR-01, this is not as easy to drive as the Indycar, just to be flat out honest, at least with the setup that they provided. And I really am struggling with the front end to get it to bite. It's also doing some weird things like hopping through the hairpin there, and it doesn't quite, it brakes very, very well, but unpredictably. So I don't know what to say. What do you think? Have you tried out the IR-01? Have you tried out the new IndyCar? What do you think? How is it going for you? Did you appreciate this video? Please make sure to do a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be giving you more vids. I think this is the last one for today, so be looking forward to whatever I can dream up to throw down on the video tomorrow, and getting to some competition here really soon. But this has been great to try out brand new Long Beach track today, and the brand new updated IndyCar, and obviously this brand new IR-01. Who knows what the future is going to be for this car. All right, see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.